gentlemen, welcome to the Point Click Podcast. Our salesman.
We pretend people care about our opinions. We pretend people care about our opinions.
They're just a couple of good guys, virtue signaling their life away.
It smells like wet dog. We pretend people care about our opinions. We pretend people care about our opinions.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Point Click Podcast. They're just a couple of good guys, virtue signaling their life away. So stay woke, stay fresh.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Point and Click Podcast. My name is John the Wise, and I'm here with Czar Salesman.
Hey, how's it going?
Party people, sorry we are 1 week late. Hope you guys had a wonderful 2 weeks to ponder about the Point and Click Podcast. We're very close to 100 episodes. And we have totally planned out something cool, you know?
Oh, yeah, lots of plans.
So many cool things that we're going to do for the podcast for 100 episodes. Honestly, I don't even know if we should be doing anything cool.
I have no idea. We keep saying we need to talk about it and make a plan.
Yeah, but we never do because we're both leading busy lives. And
Yeah, we're
literally the only time we talk to each other is once a week on Sunday when we're doing the podcast. So, yeah, it's just too much. I like it that way because then we actually have something to talk about. If we were like up each other's ass the whole week, be like, oh, tell them that story about your house.
Oh my god, yeah, it would. Yeah, we would have difficulty having anything to talk about if we talked more regularly, other than like the times when we play.
Yeah,
games.
that's it. And obviously, we play two different games. I play games that are meant for men.
Oh my god,
That are
Christ.
older than 13, and Czar, likes to dabble in those games that, kids play, like Minecraft, RuneScape, and...
Listen, RuneScape is a very serious, high skill game, okay?
There's strategy, there's all kinds of shit involved with that game, right?
Absolutely.
All right, well, you don't play that other new RuneScape wannabe? What was it called? Oh,
Albion?
Albion, yeah.
No, that game's trash.
It's trash?
Yeah, don't really like it.
What happened?
I played it and then I didn't like it. The crafting system is really annoying, and the combat's okay. It's like trying to do, RuneScape mixed with like modern MMO where it's like got healing class, DPS, tank, right, for the combat. So the combat's a little neater, but it just doesn't play out very well, and it's kind of boring.
Yeah, we're talking about Albion Online. I'm just going to show it on screen right now.
And since there's no it's a sandbox MMO, right? So since there's no real questing storyline or any sort of linear content or anything like that, you kind of are just stuck with figuring out what you want to do on your own. And if you don't have a guild to play with, it's kind of, you have nothing to do.
Yeah.
Other than sit in town and just spam dungeons, which gets really boring.
Yeah, that does get really boring. Yeah, I get it. But you have been playing...
kind of like the...
You've been playing Elder Scrolls, though, right? You're back on ESO?
I'm back on ESO. I'm having a lot of fun questing by myself as opposed to how we were trying to do it.
Yeah, it's just the game's not designed for multiplayer.
Not for questing.
Not for questing, but for dungeon. That's why I figured in their mind, they're like, dude, people only group up for dungeons, raids, and PvP anyway, so who gives a fuck, right?
Right, yeah, really. So, and I mean, it's fun because you can still do in-world multiplayer fun stuff like world bosses and stuff. Lots of people will just randomly group up to do different world bosses.
Yeah.
So there, it doesn't feel like a single player experience or anything like that. But the questing really is more solo oriented.
Yeah.
And the quests are actually fantastic. All the quests are. It just feels better than. Yeah, it feels way better than questing in like games like WoW and stuff like that.
I agree. I feel like, and we'll talk about WoW because Classic is coming up soon. I know, but that's the one thing that turned me off from WoW is because all these other MMOs, those are like quality of life things that they've changed, and they've added like features that WoW doesn't have, like fully voice acted quests, and
Right.
I don't know, man. It's just, I guess there's things that WoW does better than other MMOs for sure. As far as like its reach and its player base, it shits on everybody.
Yeah, and I still, I guess I just will never really understand why that is. I mean, I played WoW for a couple of years. Um, so I mean, it's not a bad game, but it's like there's other games that like provide equal types of content and like finish and polish on games.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I
The
don't
only thing
either.
I can think of is like, it's been around for so long and everybody loved it when, Blizzard was still Blizzard.
Mm-hmm.
And they were still a really good company that produced real good quality games or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of it is just fanboy and nostalgia and stuff. So I think what's going to happen with Classic especially is a bunch of people are going to start playing it, but you get like mid game to end game and people are just going to start complaining about quality of life stuff.
Yeah.
Because this is an MMO from years ago. Like the quality of life stuff that's commonplace in MMOs these days won't be in there. And so I think that a lot of people are just going to start complaining about, quality of life stuff.
Yeah, man, I agree with you. And in fact, we should just get into the news because we have a lot of news and we're already talking
brother.
about WoW. So let me just move.
We
this
jump
shit
in
over.
feet first.
Yeah,
let's just
get
head
into it.
first.
So yeah, August 27, 2019, Classic WoW will be up and ready to go. It'll be live. And this is coming after they killed that Classic WoW server that was like a public made one.
Right.
Because their intentions were to release it themselves. But there's already people playing the beta and they're fucking loving it, But
Right.
then again,
Absolutely.
there's a lot of hype,
There's a lot of hype and a lot of rose-tinted glasses with nostalgia.
Yeah, exactly. So
there's definitely good aspects to Classic WoW, especially from like a game design perspective that they've lost over the years.
yeah, they call it from what I've heard from a lot of people, which I don't even know what this means, is they love the old progression system. So I don't know what that means, but they're like, oh man, I just wanted that old progression system back. And I really don't know what that means, but there was something about Classic WoW that they loved.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Do you know what it is, the progression system?
Not like what they specifically mean by that.
Yeah, there's something.
Do they just mean with how the technical way of the questing involved with the leveling, or the older trees that they like more? It really depends on who's saying it and what they mean by that.
I think what they mean is it's gear based. The gear based, like how you get your mythic gear and stuff like that. I don't know, man.
So yeah, because they could be talking about end game stuff. They could be talking about the leveling, the low level, mid game leveling. I'm not really sure what.
There's a bunch of YouTube videos that explain like what the difference is, and I watched it a while ago, and I totally forgot everything. But I found an interesting article because people have been playing the beta, and look at this headline: Players are mistaking WoW Classic features for bugs.
Nice.
So all those quality of life things are gone. It's back to the old way. So people are like, hey man, why is this shit happening? And they're like, yeah dude, that was how it was back then. You know what I mean?
Right. That's just how they and of course I'm going to try to do this only once because you're going to start getting to know about it, but I'm going to draw a quick parallel between Classic WoW launch and old school RuneScape.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go. Here's the hot take.
It always comes back to RuneScape somehow.
Always. So the thing that Jagex and old school RuneScape has done really well is that going back to an older game, what people really want is a return to like a certain game design, right? Like a direction for the game and the game design overall.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily just want to play an old game that's buggy with no quality of life stuff. So what like old school RuneScape has done, they have a very active development staff for it, small but active, and they also do public polling and stuff for features being added because they want the community that wanted old school RuneScape design to help decide what gets added to the game and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So content, lots of content has been added to old school RuneScape because people didn't just want the old game and then nothing new gets added to it.
Yeah.
What people really want is what made that game great in the many years ago was a lot of just the core game design.
Yeah.
Well, over the years, Blizzard has completely changed that game design. You know what I mean? Like
With WoW.
they've changed how they think about the game, what they implement in the game, and why, and different stuff like that. So what they've lost is this, old school game design. And so what I think that Blizzard really should do is have, some set developers that work on old school WoW and actually implement and add stuff to the game, but from that classic design strategy that made WoW good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because adding new stuff isn't bad, but the game is just going to be stale once people get to max level and there's nothing else going on.
Yeah, I don't know if they're actually just doing what you explained with old school RuneScape, where they're like taking the old design but adding features to it and like fixing things that they decided were good fixes later on with like the different designs. Or if they're just cloning what it was in 2006,
Yeah, and I think that if they just clone what they did in 2006 and, the old game and just leave it at that and don't add new content or anything else like that with like the core game design in mind, I think that it's just going to flop after so long.
I agree with you. And at the same time, I kind of respect the idea of wanting to preserve whatever was and not fuck with it. But at the same time, like it's a different era now. There's a reason why we can't play some of those old PlayStation 1 games, It's like we look at it.
Think about it, but they don't really want to go play those games because they kind of suck compared to what you're used to these days.
They remember that time being a fun time in their life and it being a really cool thing because it was. WoW, when it came out, was fucking amazing, dude. It was groundbreaking. So,
Right.
But that feeling, it's like whenever you get in a relationship with somebody and you find out that you're in love with being in a relationship and not actually in love with the person. It's like the same kind of fucking thing, You're like tricking yourself into thinking that, I want to play classic WoW, but really you just want to revisit that fun you had.
The feeling.
That feeling.
Nostalgia.
Yeah, it's the nostalgia thing.
Yeah, and I definitely think that's a big aspect. But I think there is definitely something to be said about the game design behind like old WoW before they really started making a bunch of changes that really took the game in a different direction that I think a lot of people that want to return to classic didn't like.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people in our circle that are so hyped about it too, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I've seen it. I've seen the hype around it, and I'm curious to see how long they'll be playing it. Will they like continuously play classic WoW, or will they just play it for a few months and then never touch it again?
Yeah, I think there's going to be tons of people that play it for a few months and never touched again.
I think the majority of people will do that, actually. That's what's crazy.
But there's definitely going to be a lot of people that go, no life it, go end game content, beat everything. So the problem is going to be, what do they do after that? And what does Blizzard do with Classic WoW after that?
Yeah.
Because a big thing that people don't like is like the core of the game has changed, right?
Yeah.
Present WoW, the progression system, how everything works, like those things have changed. People want those things to stay the same and just give maybe some new content on top.
Yep. I think that's the best way to do it, to be honest with you. But looking at this article, Blizzard put out a list of 13 features that players are erroneously flagging as bugs, from movement speed changes to missing icons on the minimap, and they're saying that all are working as we expect. So there's some misconceptions, they said. The developers have even deliberately reproduced some inconsistencies from WoW 1.12, such as NPCs that offer multiple quests displaying them either as a dot or an exclamation mark in your quest list. They were inconsistent in 1.12, and we've reproduced the exact inconsistency they had back then.
Hell yeah, brother.
They
Y'all
fucking-
wanted classic WoW? Here you go.
Here's your. It's like almost like they're mad at you for wanting classic WoW. It's
Right.
like you want
You
classic
want it?
WoW.
Here you go.
Here you go with the bugs, bitch. And creature
Like
respawn.
malicious compliance.
This is one of the worst, in my opinion. Creature respawn rates are much slower than in Battle for Azeroth, Blizzard said, and feared players and NPCs run fast. Both are working as planned. So the creep respawn rates, which they adjusted in later WoW
Right.
patches, which is I consider that a quality of life thing because people,
I consider that quality of life as well. When you think about, you got a bunch of people trying to kill certain mobs,
yeah,
and you got people that don't want to just sit there waiting on respawns all day because they're grinding for levels, right?
yeah,
So that's more quality of life stuff.
yeah. So there's so many. There's 13 of those bugs, but even more. Those
I'm
are like
sure
the
more. Those are just some of the rounded up.
yeah. So it seems like just from this that their philosophy is we're making it exactly the way it was before, bugs and all, and not changing any, not adding any quality of life changes. So we'll see if that changes in the future. I think that if it doesn't change in the future, what we talked about will happen, where people are going to be like, oh, no, there's a reason I don't play this fucking
wait.
shit. You know what I mean? There's a reason why it got better and I liked it more. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, there's gonna be those things. Like there's some people that like the idea of competing over mobs.
Yeah.
Which, and I think at some level, when you talk about higher level mobs and stuff with drops and different things like that, there's something to be said about that.
Yeah.
But we're talking like respawn rate of all mobs, I'm sure. You know, low level mobs that people are all rushing around grinding for, that are just everyone's waiting around for spawns.
Yep. Exactly. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Good luck to everybody playing WoW. And as Kaiser said, oh my god, remember spamming your fastest ability to snag a mob before someone else? Yeah. That's one of the things I hated about WoW, dude.
Right. And some people like that stuff.
Yeah.
But I think there might be a place for it, but I think it's definitely at higher level content than,
Yeah.
you know, fighting scarecrows.
My thing that I hated about WoW was how there was a lot of downtime of you just walking around. Like just walking around, trying to get from point A to point B.
Travel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Travel is going to be a big time consumer for a lot of people, that they're going to start realizing
Yeah.
that they don't remember just walking for fucking hours getting from one point to another.
Yeah. Yeah. And I get that's like the immersion of it, but after a while,
Right.
like all the trees and shit look the same, you know? It all looks the same.
Starts
dude.
bleeding together. You're like,
It's, I don't know. But Dick Giant actually came up with a good point. He's like, in that meantime, that downtime, you should be reading like the lore and shit. Like all the quest lore.
yeah, if you're a loser.
If you're a dummy, dude. If you're a dork. But yeah, I mean, I kind of get that idea.
Yeah.
But-
And for, you know, like our peers and stuff, it feels good.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's move on. So, Classic WoW, go fuck yourself. All right, next piece of news. Devolver Digital plan another E3 anti-conference that they've done. So, yeah, we're going to see some cool, fun things. They were the same people that talked shit about loot boxes and Chief Synergy Officer and like all kinds of stupid shit that they're pretty much making fun of the whole industry.
Yeah, they really make fun of like the corporate element of the industry.
Yeah.
Or just the really corporations in general.
It's like that band that you always liked growing up because they were underground, and then they kind of sold out because they became big, but they
Right.
just held on to those.
But they
same
still shit on everyone else,
They
even
still
though they're
shit on them.
kind of the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, good for them. It's fun. It was, I always was entertained by it, so it'll be good. Can't
Yeah,
wait to
they
see
put
it.
on a good show. I like it.
All right, next piece of news. Slasher says 3 months after firing 900 people, Activision Blizzard has put out a recruitment video on YouTube featuring Jeff Kaplan, Mike Morheim, and Chris Metzen. I'm going to say maybe this isn't the best idea. So they're trying to recruit artists and all kinds of other people, and this is coming after they, fired everyone. It says comments are disabled for the video too.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I mean, I understand people are This comes with the nature of our economic system and business as a whole within it.
Yeah.
Okay, sure, they fired a bunch of people, but some of those people were going to be what they would consider unnecessary or low performance, right? And
Yeah.
they're looking for more to fill other spots that they want. Like when they were doing a bunch of restructuring stuff, they laid off a bunch of support people and other support staffs and stuff like that because it was just bloat essentially for a large company. And they were like, but now we're going to increase development staff and stuff like that. So yeah, that's just kind of the nature of it. They know they need to start working harder on the development side of things. So they're getting rid of a lot of fat, which are people's jobs. Yes, but this is how business operates.
Yeah, exactly. And it sounds like what they did was they wanted to meet their numbers by firing all these people, and then they were like, okay, so what do we need help with now? After the dust settled, they're like, okay, so we need more recruits in this area and that area. And by the way, all those people that got fired, I'm sure they'll be the first to get rehired if they were to sign back into try to go back to Blizzard,
Right. Well, and it really depends because yeah, they say 3 months after firing 900 people, but we don't know who are those. I don't know. I'm sure somebody does, but who are those 900 people?
Yeah.
What positions did they hold versus what positions are they recruiting for?
And also, if they need employees, should they not hire employees? You know what I mean? Like if the need came up, it's just kind of like a slap in the face I get to those employees. I understand.
100% understand that.
Yeah.
But this is and I understand being upset at it and everything like that, but being mad at individual companies is useless because this is literally how it's designed to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is how these large companies operate. This is how it all works in the system.
Yeah. So saying this isn't the best idea, I think, is too emotional, to be honest, because it's the best idea for them, for sure. They need the employees. And for the people that get hired, that's an amazing idea. They get to work at Blizzard.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So I get all those people being upset, all those people have families and shit like that, but yeah, they're gonna hire people again. It's gonna happen, So
right, they're restructuring. So I mean, that's gonna happen. That's how it works.
Yeah,
it sucks. Yeah, but I mean, just being mad at a singular company for how the entire way our economy works is a little silly.
Yeah, very silly. All right, let's move on. Next piece of news. Slasher likes to be emotional with his posts, though. He's a very I like him for that.
Everybody does, everyone has their own biases. I like Slasher a lot. He does great reporting via Twitter.
Yeah, and I like that he's like that. I don't need him to be like some pro that watches everything that he says. I like that he just says whatever the fuck he wants.
Right.
All right. The movie Mortal Kombat will be filmed in Australia, so they're making another fucking.
Wait, they're making a movie?
They're making a Mortal Kombat movie, baby, and hopefully they have Ronda Rousey as Sonya again. That was a fucking mistake, dude. But let's see here. According to reporter Claire Campbell, the production is expected to create 580 jobs and see 70 million Australian dollars get poured into the local economy. Let's see here. The movie will be filmed at Adelaide Studios in Glenside, according to Adelaide Now. So yeah, I mean, we don't know much else about it other than it's New Line Cinema. Did they do the first one? I think they did. So this is going to be a reboot. Or not reboot. I guess just a retelling of the same story. Did you like the original?
I never watched it. Are you kidding me?
I unironically think the first Mortal Kombat movie is amazing, dude.
So then I'm going to need you to give a full-scale review of the first movie and then publish another one when this one comes out, John. Okay?
Dude,
get on it.
I need
that. Get on it. Video essay. Okay?
Hold on. Sorry, wife needed something. Dude, I loved the first one. As a kid, it's a different mindset, all right? This was the 90s. That fucking song came out. Dun, 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 dun. Dude, the Mortal Kombat song, that was Raiden was the guy from Highlander. He had a fucking weird accent. Outworld. So it was just perfect because there was no, at the time, this is a time where there was no Marvel Cinematic Universe. There was no fucking there was no expectations like there is now. Now, like,
Right.
the expectations are so high because we've seen what they do when they take the source material and actually try. But back then, it was just like, oh my god, they're making a fucking Mortal Kombat movie. That's so cool, because we never thought in a million years they would make a video game movie, you know? So my expectations for this movie are extremely high. Extremely
That's
high.
sad to hear.
I know. But
That's sad.
honestly, though, the story is stupid
They
anyway.
should be. The whole Mortal Kombat story is ridiculous.
A fucking
in its own
tournament,
right.
a tournament to save, Earthrealm.
Yeah,
like,
and then there's all this weird time stuff,
yeah,
and it's all wacky interdimensional time travel nonsense.
yeah, and I don't think anybody gives a fuck about martial
Especially
arts movies.
since what's his name? What's Liu Kang or whatever, the human martial artist who's just like a regular dude, like wins every fucking time.
Dude, he turns into like a dragon and shit. What do you mean? Like, there's
I have no
magic.
fucking idea.
There's magic.
Well, I know there's
dude.
magic, but isn't like the protagonist that wins like a bunch of them? Isn't he just like a normal human or something?
Well, he's supposedly like the best martial artist in Earthrealm, and like him and some other martial artists get together, which it doesn't make sense. One's a movie star, one's special forces. Like, why are they?
Right.
Why are none of them like actual MMA fighters or boxers? Or
But
like,
they're like fighting like interdimensional demon aliens and demigods.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make
like,
any sense.
So it's all ridiculous. So I would never hold anything Mortal Kombat to a high standard other than like the mechanics of the fighting game itself.
Yeah, actually, now thinking about it, my standards are pretty low because it doesn't make any fucking sense anyway. You know what I mean?
Right?
So,
No, absolutely fucking not. What are you
it's all
talking about,
thanks to
Tony?
the power of friendship. You know what's fucking hilarious? I think it was the second Mortal Kombat movie where Liu Kang, he had to go through his journey of like getting better for the tournament because he will not beat Shao Kahn. So he finds
Right.
Nightwolf in the like Outworld, just like camping or something. And
hanging out.
and
having a good
Nightwolf,
time.
yeah, that's it. And then the whole thing was that he needs to embrace his animality. When it's like,
What?
that's what
What
it
is
is.
that word?
So animality was like a new fatality that they added into the game where you turn into an animal and kill the guy. And they call
Oh
it
my God.
animality. So the movie, they're like, yeah, he needs to find his animality and embraces. And it's like this shitty CGI of him turning into a dragon and eating somebody.
Hell yeah.
It just
Hell
didn't make
yeah,
any
brother.
fucking sense, dude. And they
I'm ready for
also
that.
they did that 90s thing where like in the second Mortal Kombat movie, oh wait, what time did Donnie wake up? 9:40. There you go. In the second Mortal Kombat movie, it starts and Sonya Blade and Johnny Cage are and Raiden are just three different actors. Completely different actors than they were in the first movie. And
Hell
then
yeah.
like two of the three die right away.
Nobody cares.
I
Nobody
know.
pays
They
attention
did
to
that in the 90s a lot though, you know what I mean? Like you can't do that as much
You can
anymore.
just swap people out. It's easy.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, so that'll happen. I'm excited to see it. It's probably going to suck. All right. Next piece of news. Tencent adds gameplay management system to PUBG Mobile to encourage healthy gaming. So players under 18, because it asks you what your age is, and everybody's truthful. So players under
Oh, yeah.
18 will receive pop-ups reminding them to take a break. That's pretty much it.
Oh, that's what they're talking. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there's games that implement that anyway for just everybody.
What was the first
Like,
game?
hey, you've been playing for a while.
What was the first game that did? I think the first
fuck
game
if I know, dude.
that I remember, I think, was Guild Wars. It says it on the bottom, or
Guild Wars
it could have
has
been
that,
WoW.
yeah.
I could have been WoW too, actually. I think
WoW did that. When did they start doing that? Wrath of the Lich King?
No, I think they did it pretty
Did they do
early.
it sooner?
Because it would tell you in your chat, it would say, "Hey, you've been playing for 1 hour. Maybe take a break."
Yeah.
So I don't know. I forgot exactly.
People have been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but it's interesting that they're specifically doing it only to people that they think are 18 and under.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's been banned.
I mean, in China, they should know because, I mean, if you could, it's Tencent. They should
Yeah.
know your social security number.
I know, right?
All we know.
Hey,
right?
man, you've been sick the last 3 days. You should take a break. How the fuck do you know
Yeah.
10 cent? Are you
Wait,
kidding
what?
me, dude? But yeah, because PUBG Mobile has been banned in multiple Indian cities, and they were there was other places that they were trying to ban it too. So I think they're just trying to, say that like we were trying something. And
Interesting.
yeah, they still they got that game of peace in China now. That's funny, dude. So,
Oh yeah, that's funny.
a patriotic reskin that models the battle royale game of the country's anti-terrorism force. Game of peace, the kind of peace that guns and shooting people in the head is.
Hell yeah, brother.
All right, next piece of news. Let's move on. Robert Pattinson will reportedly star in The Batman, a Matt Reeves film in 2021. And people are upset. People are so mad that the Twilight star
People
will
are
be.
so mad.
I don't know why they're so fucking mad, dude. Who
I
cares?
get it. People just like they see actors in specific things and they hate the actor for it.
Yeah.
They either see like I always say this when people don't like actors because they were in a bad franchise or whatever. I don't blame actors for being in bad franchises. Okay?
It's a
paycheck.
Paycheck.
Dude, they have a job. They do their job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like and not everyone can just afford to like not do your job because you're so much better than whatever the like acting content is or what nonsense. Look at Natalie Portman in fucking Attack of the Clones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
Terrible.
whatever was that
one.
the second one in the prequel, was it
That's
called
the
Attack of
second
the
one.
Clones?
It's the second one. Third one is Revenge of the Sith.
Well, I actually just look at Natalie Portman in all of them, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, she's a fucking amazing actress.
Mm-hmm.
But even she couldn't redeem like the fucking dialogue and directing of those movies.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
There's nothing you can
So plus like Keanu Reeves is in so many horrible movies.
do. Mm-hmm.
But so if you want to watch a really good horrible movie, this new movie, it like just came out. It's on Redbox. It's got Keanu Reeves, who is like at the top of his game right now with like one of the biggest franchises, John Wick,
Mm-hmm.
that he's been in outside of like The Matrix, right? He's like at the top of his game. And he was in this new movie called Replicas. It might be the worst fucking movie I've ever seen.
Sounds familiar, dude. What is that?
Yes, because it like just came out.
Let me see.
And it's the dialogue and writing is so fucking horrible. Just goddamn atrocious. Plus, the CGI
Oof, 10%.
looks like it was done in MS Paint.
10% Rotten
It's
Tomatoes.
so
dude.
bad. This thing is so bad. But Keanu Reeves is in it. Nobody
Oof.
hates Keanu Reeves for being in a bad movie. You know what I mean?
Oof. 10% on Rotten Tomatoes, 36% audience score. Equal parts plot holes and unintentional laughs. Replicas is a ponderously lame sci-fi outing that isn't even bad enough to be so bad it's good. Oof.
Yeah, it's just straight bad. It's unenjoyable to watch. I recommend everyone watch it just so they can understand what I mean. It is wholly unenjoyable to watch and painful to listen to people talk in this movie.
Oh my god. Just the synopsis sounds terrible. After a car accident kills his family, a daring synthetic biologist, Keanu Reeves, will stop at nothing to bring them back, even if it means pitting himself against government-controlled laboratory, a police task force, and the physical laws of science.
Yes. It's
Keanu Reeves, what are you doing, dude? You can't go against science, the police, and government-controlled labs. It's impossible, dude. Oh my god, dude. Physical laws of science is great.
yeah, it is something. It is something else entirely.
I like this
So I mean,
image of him. Dude, this guy never ages, man. What the fuck? Is he a fucking immortal vampire?
probably.
Jesus Christ, dude. Anyway, but yeah, oh my god, I just saw that thing, that apparatus on his head. It looks so bad.
Yeah, it's so bad. So I don't hold anything against Robert Pattinson for being a part of Twilight.
I don't
just because
either.
I don't like Twilight. I think that he would make a great like Bruce Wayne character. He looks the part. That sort of, rugged yet pretty boy playboy.
I agree, he
like,
looks the part.
He's perfect for that. We'll see for like how they do this Batman, because some people have said that it's going to be more of like a detective oriented Batman. Don't know, because I don't have much information out of it. There's not really much information out there yet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this could be good. I feel like it's definitely going to be a different Batman than Christian Bale's Batman, than Nolan's Batman.
Twilight is not awesome, Blue Laser. Stop it with that. Stop it. Unless you're a 13-year-old girl, Stop it with that, okay? My sister was in love with that shit, dude. There's so many things about Twilight that sucked, but yeah, you shouldn't blame the actors for taking roles. And what's wrong with doing a different Batman? The Marvel Cinematic Universe has ruined everything. Okay? We can't just make a movie with a different person, different character, different story, different writer, different director without people being like, "Oh my god, what? You're going to make a Batman movie without Christopher Nolan, without Christian Bale?" It's like, yeah, we don't want
and
them.
it's like these people haven't read comic books.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many different fucking storylines, timelines, shoot-offs, spin-offs. They're like, Batman has been so fucking different in so many different comics.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
he's been written
like
by
all comic characters are.
Yeah.
They're written by so many different people in so many different settings on so many different stories.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like, I don't know. I'm perfectly fine with this, and I'm fine with the casting.
Yeah, that's like, I didn't even think about that. You're totally right. Even in the comic books, it's different people writing the story, different people drawing it. There's like different versions of Batman drawn in different ways, you know. There's violent Batman, there's like, you know, the Batman that only knocks people out. So
Batman Noir, and like there's all sorts of different stuff. It's funny too, because a lot of people seem to think that Robert Pattinson is too young. He's older than Christian Bale when Christian Bale first played Batman in Batman Begins.
Yeah.
So I don't know why people think that he looks too young or something. Like, he looks like the perfect age for like Batman becoming Batman.
Yeah. Overall, I think it's stupid to be upset about this. People just don't know what to be upset about anymore. Be upset about the end of Game of Thrones, not this shit.
Right.
Are you saying John Wick sucks? Hell yeah, it sucks. Dude,
what?
If you think about it,
wait,
it's...
Wait, is
okay.
that what you're saying?
Listen.
That's not what I'm saying.
No. John Wick is an awesome movie, but if we're being real, it's stupid. If we're being real.
But you can be okay with, like, it's stupid. It's in a completely unrealistic world with ridiculous, unrealistic things happening.
It just doesn't make sense, but we're like, whatever, I'm along for the ride, and I'm actually enjoying it, so who cares? You know what I mean?
They're good. But, I mean, like, the Marvel movies are good. They're decent movies.
Yeah.
But, again, ridiculous universe in which ridiculous, nonsensical, unrealistic things happen.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't... See, with Twilight, I don't like the whole... It's a teenage angst story, dude. If you're into that kind of slice of life shit, I guess it's a good movie. But that's why I said, unless you're a 13-year-old girl. You know, it is, but we like for what it is. See, I don't know if you're just saying that you unironically like Twilight, or if you're just saying it just so you can go against the grain, you know, and be like, I actually liked it, fight me, you know, and it's like, all right, man, did you actually like it?
Don't at me.
Did you actually like it, or are you just saying you like it so you can be contrarian, you know? You know? But anyway, either way, I support whatever you like, but Twilight sucks. All right, next piece of news. Oh man, this is kind of a sad story with a good ending, but not a good ending. So this guy's brother was dying, and his last wish was to play Total War 3 Kingdoms, and it was going to release after he was probably going to die. And so they tried to get out there and let people at CA know about this dude's death, and they pulled through, man. They came and brought like a fucking developer copy of the game, you know, one that they're working on that's not fully functional, and they're like, hey, yeah, whatever we have, like, you can play it. And he played it, and then shortly after he passed away. So
damn.
So good on CA, man. It went on Reddit and everything. Cool. Yeah, pretty crazy, man.
That's pretty cool. He's dead, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, here he is, like with a breathing machine, playing it on a laptop.
I don't want to see that. I don't. Yeah. Don't open. Oh God, this is sad.
I mean, that's all I'm going to show you. So
sad story.
So yeah,
that's like the Skyrim grandma.
Yeah, did she die?
No, I think she's still alive, but they were putting her in the new Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, she's in the Elder Scrolls 6.
Because she's worried about dying before it comes out. I'm like, that's sad when you think about it.
Oh, they sent him a key for the game, dude. Holy shit. So you just put it in Steam and play it, so they didn't even need to do anything else. Wow. So yeah, good on CA, man. Total War series always coming through. That's it.
You and Total War.
A lot of people like Total War, but then there's a lot of people
Nobody liked Total War.
People are turned off by it. I get it because it can be as complicated as you want it to be, but every time they made a new Total War, it was better than the last one. And like easier for new players to get into.
Hell yeah, casual me up.
Yeah. And it teaches you a lot about fucking history. So that's a really cool thing. All right, next piece of news. Sources: Call of Duty 2020 in upheaval as Treyarch takes over. Plans Black Ops 5. So yeah, whatever Call of Duty studios, Raven and Sledgehammer, those were the ones that were leading the project, and pretty much Activision's like, hey, whatever you guys are doing, it sucks. Fuck off. We're getting Treyarch on it.
I thought that the next one was gonna be Modern Warfare.
That's what I thought too. So
they're scrapping that? Didn't we just get news that like the new Call of Duty was just gonna be Call of Duty Modern Warfare?
So yeah,
Like
it's not gonna be. Yeah, it's
And
not
they're
gonna be Black
scrapping
Ops
that?
5. Yeah, they're scrapping that. So here we go. Here's the timeline of how it happened. Treyarch did Call of
Duty.
2012, Treyarch did Call of Duty Black Ops 2. 2013, Infinity Ward did a Call of Duty Ghosts game that no one gives a fuck about. 2014, Sledgehammer did Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Is that the one that everybody liked?
No. I
No.
don't think anybody liked any Call of Duty after Modern Warfare 2.
So this Modern Warfare 2 is which one? 2012 or 2011?
No. Modern Warfare 2 was before Black Ops 2, I believe.
Wait, let me see here.
We're talking
Modern Warfare
talking-
2 release date. Yeah, 2009, November 10th, 2009. Yeah. This is considered the best Call of Duty, right? Everybody agrees? That's what I've heard.
I think that's, a lot of it's nostalgia.
Yeah.
Lack of quality of life stuff, just like everything else. But, I mean, that's the one I played the most, of course. Therefore, it's the best.
And Infinity Ward was the ones behind that one, right? Yeah. So they... then they did Infinite Warfare 2016. Sledgehammer did Call of Duty. Okay, here we go. Sledgehammer did Call of Duty World War II. Bombed. No one gave a fuck about it. Treyarch did Black Ops 3, which is or Black Ops 4, is it?
That's 4.
It's 4, yeah. That's a terrible way to do
I'm
4.
looking at it at a lower resolution than you are, John, and I can read.
I know, but there's too many eyes, and I got dyslexic for a second. So then Infinity Ward was doing... another unannounced one in 2019, but at this point it's basically an open secret that it's a new Modern Warfare. Oh, okay. So Infinity Ward is doing the new Modern Warfare, and Treyarch is doing...
so that's still happening.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, and Treyarch is doing Black Ops 5.
Gotcha. So they were going to have Sledgehammer do Black Ops 5, but then Activision said, you know what? No, fuck you. Treyarch's doing it.
Yeah, Treyarch's doing it. So now let's see here. Is there any other news? Now Treyarch, based in Santa Monica, is in charge of leading Black Ops 5 for 2020. So 2019, we're still going to get the new Modern Warfare game. And guess what it's called?
What?
Modern Warfare. Bless you. It's not called Call of Duty 4. Wait.
Right.
It's just Call of Duty Modern Warfare. That's all it's called.
Yeah, because the first one was like the fourth Call of Duty, right? So
Yeah.
it's Call of Duty 4.
Modern Warfare.
Subtitle or whatever it's called, Modern Warfare.
So the fourth one, the fourth Modern Warfare is called Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I hate when they fucking do this shit, dude. Like,
or it's the third. No, this is the third Modern Warfare.
Dude, Rocky 1, Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky
Easy,
4, 5,
right?
and
Easy
then Creed, and then Rocky, and then now that you lost me, because now you're doing Rocky.
Now you're just changing new names, but it's all part of the same thing.
Yeah, it's the fifth movie, but now it's called Rocky. Okay. So yeah, that's the same shit that's going on. But yeah, I mean, in between the lines, we're getting Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and we're getting another Black Ops. Probably won't play either of them, but we'll see. I guess the Modern Warfare one will generate interest because people have been harping on how they want a new Modern Warfare game.
Yeah, but it's interesting because I mean, Infinity Ward has been doing, has had their cycle of which Call of Duty games they do, right? And
Yeah.
it's not like people are like, oh, that's the one I want because it's Infinity Ward, right? So I don't know. I don't know how this is like just because it's a different title with a different theme, it's going to be better than the other Infinity Ward games you didn't like. I don't know.
I don't either, but I do know that there is this rhetoric going around where people want a modern shooter, and the only one that exists right now that is high quality is, and I say with quotations high quality, is PUBG. Yeah, it's the only one.
They want a modern, not one with, futuristic guns and equipment that doesn't exist. People with, prosthetic robot arms and jump through the air with this giant plunger that you blast people with.
Yeah.
Or
RC cars and,
Right. There's definitely like, stuff like that in real warfare, but it's not like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's robots, but they're like bomb disposal robots and they go very slow.
Yeah.
And, other stuff like that. So I don't know. I think there is something to be said that people want just like what's current day. Yep. What does warfare look like current day? Yeah. And they just want that. They want current modern day guns and equipment and stuff so that it feels more as a, what people call realistic shooter.
Yeah. They don't want World War I. They don't want World War II. They don't want Civil War. They don't want Future War.
I would actually fucking play the fuck out of a
Civil War?
A Call of Duty Civil War. Actually, I say we get on that shit.
You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, having the lines of people just shooting each other in the face.
Yeah, dude. Yes, like you're fucking slowly reloading your musket.
Oh, man.
I would run around with your fucking cutlass.
Yeah.
I would actually play that. I don't think anyone will ever make it because it's the Civil War and slavery was involved.
Ooh.
And it's a hotbed for racial issues. So I don't think anybody would ever touch it. But I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, it would be nice. I think they tried to make a game like that, and it just ended up being a clusterfuck. It wasn't them. It was like some other company. It was a Civil War game. You can like stick each other with bayonets and shit.
Yeah,
fuck.
Like, it would be cool. It would be a shooter, but it'd be much more slow paced.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
things would be more methodical. Like strategy and like war lines and different stuff like that. Like it would be a lot more strategic than just like everyone around a full auto, because you get one shot and then you'd have to go behind something to reload. And
I think it would be cool if it was like two giant armies, and like every time you die, you take the place of like somebody that's in one of those like formations. Like you're dead, but now you're one of the guys in the other formation, and you take over the AI. And it's just constantly like bayoneting and shooting each other, and cannons and all kinds of shit.
Cavalry running around.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool.
I think it'd be cool too, but we'll see how it goes. All right, next piece of news. Oh, did you see how Arnold got fucking drop kicked? Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
All right, so
wasn't it by like a SoundCloud rapper?
Yeah, it's this guy
that trying to get clout.
Yeah, here's the clip right here. He's just like, look how he doesn't move. By the way, he just fucking drop kicked a boulder, dude.
Yeah.
So apparently this guy is a known like prankster in South Africa, where it happened, and he tried to drop kick the former governor, the Terminator, and he was at a like Special Olympics kind of thing where he was like talking to like kids that have disabilities, and this kid is like in a wheelchair and he's doing archery, so he wanted to like support those kids, because he's a good guy. And then some dumbass came and like tried to drop kick him in the back for some dumb reason. Apparently it's just for the fame. So yeah.
How the fuck? He thought that he was just jostled by the crowd. This man is a beast.
He didn't even know what happened. Boulder. He thought someone bumped into him.
I'm just glad the idiot didn't interrupt my Snapchat.
Yeah. He literally didn't know. He didn't know what happened. He like turned around some guys on the floor, and
somebody bumped into him.
Yeah.
This dude full body weight.
Dude.
Running drop kicks, and he's just like, what was that?
He jumped off camera. Like he full speed.
Like he's flying. Look at him come flying.
Look, off camera, dude. Off camera, jumped in. He like might have broke his knees, dude. Trying to drop kick the fucking Terminator, dude. Are you kidding me, dude? Mr. Olympia? And then here's him like showing clips of other people actually fighting. So yeah,
That's too funny. And what it's really annoying too, because I mean, like, yeah, because Arnold's and he took it really well, but like Arnold's old. Like any other older person, and even to Arnold, just because he's old, you could have done some serious fucking damage.
yeah, 100%, 100%.
Like,
I mean,
fucked
the
up.
silver
It's
lining,
really fucked up.
it's very fucked up. He is an old guy. You're right. The silver lining is he's still in fucking shape. But what if like he had a back injury at the time?
Right. Well,
You know
but
what I
even
mean?
that, it's like, yeah, like, so his muscles are in good shape and they're supporting that, but other things that his muscles are attached to, there's nothing you can do to strengthen those. They wear
Yeah.
over time, joints, tendons, and stuff like that. So it's like, you're risking seriously injuring someone at that age by doing something like that.
And he was facing a bunch of other people. And by the way, there's a bunch of disabled kids there too. What if he like toppled into like some disabled kids and like other people and injured them? Like,
Yeah.
dude, yeah, he's over 70 years old. Motherfucker's still a rock, dude. He's a fucking
Right,
boulder, dude. So
It's
yeah.
so dumb. So dumb. People
My
like
favorite
that-
part about this whole thing is we don't know who that guy was. I don't know his name. I don't
still
know
don't know his name.
I'm so glad, dude. I don't want to know. Don't put his name out there. Fuck that guy. Let him go to jail and let nobody give a fuck about him, you know? So
I've been so happy that it seems like nobody's been like this guy. It seems like nobody's posting his name anywhere. Nobody's been posting like he's shouted out like his fucking iCloud link or whatever when he did it.
yeah.
So like or whatever. I haven't seen anything like that. I haven't seen anyone spreading that information, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, exactly. So fuck him. And he went to like a place where there's disabled kids doing like special.
Why there,
Dude?
Nice.
Come on, man. Are you that much of a piece of shit, dude? Anyway.
Yes, the answer is yes, John.
Yeah, I guess. All right, next piece of news. I hope that you've studied some of this shit because I don't know too much about it. But
Oh God.
so Tfue, if you guys don't know him, he's a very popular Fortnite streamer, and he's part of this clan called FaZe Clan, which is a professional organization. And he's suing them for being grossly oppressive and by taking his earnings. And according to this article and other ones, they were taking 80% of his commission from any other business.
Okay.
So tell me what you know.
Okay. So, because there's lots of information, and of course, banks. With every time anything dealing with fucking banks, I just want to fucking deep throat a shotgun. So let my bias be known here. I've looked over a lot.
You don't
of
like
stuff,
banks? What's wrong with you, dude?
but I cannot fucking stand Banks or people like him, the people he hangs out with, FaZe Clan, everybody involved.
You're talking about FaZe Banks, the owner of
FaZe Banks.
Yeah, the owner of FaZe.
Clan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm saying he makes me want to fucking kill myself.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Just those kind of people. Like,
He is a
so
piece of
fucking
shit.
Annoying. So stupid. Such giant pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's my bias for everyone wondering. The biggest issues here is that like Tfue wanted to get out of the contract because it's a shitty bad contract, right? It's a really shitty bad contract, and he wanted to get out of it back as of like September. He got legal counsel to try to get out of the contract, but FaZe Clan was not gonna let him. Right?
No, hell no.
It's hard to get out of contracts, of course, right? So they're trying to renegotiate stuff like that, and it was not working out. So now he's suing FaZe to try to get out of the contract, essentially.
Yep.
And then of course Banks posts this, YouTube video talking about saying how he was blindsided by it and how Tfue was such a friend and other stuff, like all this dumb bullshit that I don't give a shit about.
Yeah, which was proven on the fact that he was blindsided. It was proven false because in the deposition there is a line of writing where he had told them like 2 years before or a year before, like, hey, I want out of this contract.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So September, to September 2018 is when he was trying to get out of it. So now I can give some charitableness to Banks and saying that he's an owner, but he's not. I guess he doesn't do a lot of like the management stuff, whatever.
Yeah,
right.
Obviously.
So there could have been a case where he wasn't aware of some of the stuff, and he personally was blindsided by a full-blown lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
which I could maybe buy. But
I-
definitely the
I don't buy
whole
it.
organization as a whole was definitely not fucking blindsided.
I
by
mean,
it.
even
Like-
if he doesn't take care of that shit, those people 100% would call him as an owner of the organization and say, "Hey, just
he
letting
was
you
aware
know."
TFU wanted out of his contract. He was aware of the negotiations.
Yeah.
So if you know that somebody wants out of the contract, they've already taken legal counsel and are trying to not, and they're not accepting any renegotiations you want. They want out of the contract. Then you know the next step is they're gonna fucking sue you.
Yeah.
So it's a bunch of bullshit. I also have issues with this is how a lot of these esports organizations work though, and people like Banks.
Mhm.
Why I think that they're such pieces of shit too is they're very predatory. He's trying to do all this. He was my friend or buddy. They buddy up to young kids. They use these predatory contracts to sign them.
Yeah.
So one thing that Banks was saying was, we only ever took 60,000. We only ever collected 60,000 from him, is what they say.
Yeah.
But the contract says that there's different scales to what each party earns depending on what it is, whether it's tournament earnings or whether it's brand deals brought by FaZe to TFU and different stuff like that. And some of them were like, I think it's tournament earnings or it's brand deals brought by FaZe. One of them is like an 80% split in favor of FaZe, which is like huge, right? So there's different scalings to some, but a lot of it is that they can take a large chunk of money from stuff that he does. In some cases, I think tourney winnings he gets 80%, and other stuff they get 80%.
I think the problem is like sponsorships and streaming and stuff like that.
Right. There's stuff like, well, because he's part of FaZe turned down sponsorships for him because it would conflict with some sponsorships that FaZe had, right? So there's issues with him losing out on stuff like that because of FaZe.
So he's not independent to make his own money,
right,
without FaZe being involved.
Correct. And a big issue that people need to understand is even though FaZe has only collected less than what their contract says they can, the contract itself means that they can literally just be like, okay, you owe us this much money. Like this is owed. You know what I mean?
After the fact.
So this after the fact.
Yeah.
So as long as it's in the contract. And then there's stuff like, 6 months after the contract is over, he can't play video games professionally or stream them or anything like that.
What?
Is part of the contract. So they have other contracts like that,
are
in that form.
What's the idea behind that, you think? Just to kill his professionalism?
It's to strong arm people into renegotiating contracts or re-upping contracts.
Yeah, because if he's like, it's like
resign this contract that you say the contract's for 3 years, which isn't that long a time. It seems pretty okay. But so say he lived out the length of his contract and he decided not to renegotiate, not to resign or anything like that. That contract says he can't for 6 months now do anything like in that realm that he's now part of. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff's really predatory because it's strong arming. What they do is you get these young guys that don't know what they're doing. They don't know anything about the industry. They sign these contracts, these horrible, bogus contracts that then they can use to strong arm them in future negotiations after these guys sort of learn the ropes and figure out, what they're worth, how the industry works, and all this other stuff.
Yeah. I mean, so the idea is like, okay, you're free of your contract, but you can't do anything for 6 months. So for 6 months, you can't make any money. You can't work with anybody. So guess what? The only people you can like talk to in these 6 months are us. Cause we could be like, yeah, we'll forgive all that bullshit if you just sign up with us again.
Right. And it could be a better contract the second time around. It probably would be because the person has more negotiating power, but they're more likely to keep signing with FaZe if they're like, I can't fucking work for 6 months.
Yeah.
Could you imagine someone coming to you and be like, you can't work for 6 months, John, because this contract we signed a couple of years ago or something like that.
You can't
like
take any job opportunities.
Now, people will, of course, argue, be like, oh, well, TFU has so much money. What does it really matter? I mean, just because you make a lot of money doesn't mean it's right to make, to pull this kind of shit.
That's a stupid fucking argument, man, that people make.
You see people make it like on Reddit. And
it's because they don't have money, so they think like, oh, if I had that money, I would make better decisions. And like, why would you need more money?
He was a young kid that didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's obvious. And he's learning a little more about what he should have been doing. He's learned he's he's worth a lot more.
Yeah.
And he's learned that a lot of these contracts are just bad, and it's better for him to be a solo agent.
Dude, all of his success, all of it, is from his own work.
Oh, absolutely. People claim that like FaZe made him.
No.
Because there were these graphs being passed around by FaZe Banks of this, like, oh, look, here's where he got signed, and look at all this growth. If there's a wider graph,
correlation is not causation, dude.
Correct, but there's a wider graph of his activity and his popularity on Twitch and everything like that, that already showed this huge upward trend, and that FaZe signed him almost near the peak of his already existing upward trend in the first place.
Yeah.
So FaZe didn't make him.
No,
FaZe
they snatched him up with a predatory contract.
Correct.
And now they have to answer for it in the public domain. And while it is, if I'm in business, it's a shrewd business practice, right? That's what they would call it. They would be like, wow, you got him on that, you got him to sign that contract, man, good for you. But in the public domain, that's not this. We don't have the same kind of reaction. We have a reaction of like, oh, you're scamming him, dude. You scammed him.
Of people.
He's a slave to your organization, and you're taking advantage of a kid that doesn't know anything about law or anything about contracts and just was excited to be part of a known organization.
Right, especially when you think FaZe. FaZe is one of the biggest names in esports orgs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's made of a bunch of really shitty people.
He's just a young kid who's probably insecure, doesn't know his worth. He's just like, oh, I guess I'm good at video games. Like, that's the only thing. But he doesn't realize that, how powerful he really was and how good he was at what he does until later on.
Right.
And,
or, he didn't understand the predatory nature of a lot of these esports organizations.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's to the point now where people need to be careful with what they fucking sign. Like, these kids are not kids anymore, like...
Everybody should be careful of what they sign.
Yeah, for
The
sure.
problem is that kids coming out like this, these young guys, they have absolutely no idea what they're doing.
No.
And nobody's teaching them things either. It's like people don't even teach their kids how to file taxes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the school system sure as hell doesn't teach kids to be financially literate.
Hell
so
no.
You have these kids coming out into the world as adults that have no fucking idea what they're doing, being offered these contracts, trying to sign different stuff. Even people buying houses sign shitty fucking contracts.
Yeah.
Because they don't either have a good real estate agent or they don't know that they can add, send back like, okay, well, how about this? Make changes and renegotiate stuff like this. They don't know that they should.
Yeah. And to put it in perspective, I mean, he was just like a kid living with his parents probably, and someone's like, hey, you want to make millions of dollars? Sign this contract. And it's like a no-brainer for a kid that has
right. Well, you have people, FaZe Banks butting up to him.
Yeah,
they probably get told all these things like, oh, it's just a standard contract. Everybody signs it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, if everybody signs it, why wouldn't you? Because that's just how things are done.
Yeah.
Right? Well, how things are done are probably shitty, and maybe they shouldn't be done.
Yeah. All right. So, good luck to him. It says here in an update, Tfue's attorney, Brian Friedman, also commented on the lawsuit, telling Hollywood Life, this lawsuit and the petition governed by the California Labor Commission were filed as a result of the unfair and illegal practices by Tfue's gaming organization. So the contract could be null and void because it was illegal. That's what they're saying.
It really depends because I read over the Talent Agency Act.
That's what it is.
From California.
It's called the Talent Genies Act.
And I also read over a couple other things about like the definition of talent agent under California,
Mm-hmm.
but there's also a definition for athletic agent.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know if an athletic agent falls under the category of a talent agent, which makes it fall under this act, or if just all athletic agents already fall under this act. I don't know. The wording is not clear in any of the acts or legal documents, so it's really unclear. So, and then I don't know if esports or esports players would be considered athletes or athletic agents. So it really depends on what kind of arguments get brought forward to a judge here.
Yeah. Their argument is we haven't collected any of that money that have a right to collect. So we haven't done anything wrong. It says right here, over the course of our partnership with him, which began in April 2018, FaZe Clan has collected $0 in tournament winnings, $0 in Twitch revenue, $0 in YouTube revenue, and $0 from any social platform.
Collected.
Yeah.
But per contract, still owed.
They're owed.
You know what I mean?
All
They
those
could
things. Yeah.
They could call it in. It's in the contract. They could be like, hey, you got to cough up this X number amount of money because the contract says so.
In fact, they could even say, hey, either you owe us all this money or we're going to make a shittier contract and sign this and we'll forgive you.
This is another way that they would create negotiating leverage in their favor. Is, well, according to this contract, you owe us all this money that we didn't collect on, and you're still going to owe us this money unless you re-sign this new contract.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? So these are just really like, they have them sign these contracts not necessarily because they're going to capitalize on the actual monetary gain from those, but because they're going to use it for future negotiating leverage.
Yeah. All right. Let's see how it goes. Good luck to Tfue.
It's a bad situation altogether.
It's bad.
I'm not saying Tfue's innocent in all this or that he hasn't done bad things, but we're just looking at the legal issues here of like predatory nature of these organizations and these contracts they get these kids to sign. That's the important thing that people need to focus on, not Tfue, what he's done or anything like that.
Yeah, and some people have called for unionization, and I don't know if unionization, I get like they protect your rights, but they have their own agendas too, unions usually.
Yeah, and some do. When humans are involved in anything, there's always going to be agendas present, right?
Yeah.
And maybe unionization would be the good thing for them because collective bargaining power grants the people that do work a lot more negotiating power against these companies that have all the money and therefore the power. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think the potential for an individual on an individual basis is so much more. You can make more money. You can do things the way you want to do it without answering to anybody if you're just careful with how you potentially with how you negotiate and all that stuff. So, all right, good luck to him. We'll see how this goes. Dude, have you seen this fucking shit? Scared the shit out of me. Did you see this? I put it in my Discord.
What am I looking at?
Okay, so Samsung AI Lab Tech can animate highly realistic heads using only a few, or in some cases, only one starter image. So they take an image, like you're looking on the left here, it says source, and they pretty much take an image of a face and can artificially make it talk. And I mean, I'll show you for our podcast listeners. You're just going to have to Google it. Samsung AI Lab. Or you know what? You could just find our fucking shit on YouTube and watch this.
Yeah, you can Google it. No.
Yeah, watch our shit on YouTube. So here, check this shit out. Look at that. Look how it's like faces moving. It's still kind of uncanny valley. But this one,
weird, like there's bad frame rate, but that's frightening.
It's scary as fuck, man. All they do is take an image and everyone is so nice about how facial recognition is so nice for unlocking my phone. I know
this is what they do with that data that people give them freely.
Well, we're getting have you seen go ahead, sorry.
This is just an example of how corporations collecting large amounts of data that you freely give them can be used. Now this is a cool way it's used, but there's also really nefarious ways it's used as well. This is probably directly a result of the collection of facial recognition data from users. You collect a whole bunch of facial structure and movement data, and you can compile it in all these ways to where it's like they would take these face shapes that are similar to the picture that they're analyzing and then use this data to recreate some sort of likeness.
Yeah, and then there's this, where they can...
How deep fakes and stuff work as well.
Deep fakes and stuff like that. And then there's these people called Real Talk who have created an artificial intelligence which takes voice data and pretty much make audio to say whatever the fuck you want. So they use Joe Rogan because he has thousands of hours, tens of thousands of hours of audio of him just talking from his podcast. So it was the perfect data to use. They just put that in the computer and they pretty much make him say whatever the fuck they want. And for podcast listeners,
everything.
So everything you're about to hear right now is artificially made. Joe Rogan has not said any of these things, and this was just made in a lab.
Of chimps. I'm tired of people telling me that chimps are not capable of kicking human ass in sports. Chimps are just superior athletes. And these chimps have been working out hard. They're throwing kettlebells, battle ropes, everything. I've got them on a strict diet of bone broth and elk meat.
I mean, you can't hear it, Czar, but maybe here, let me send this to you real quick so you can just.
I'm listening to it right now.
Oh, you are. So I mean, it's got the inflections. It's got like the way that it's stringed together, the way the sentence ends. I would never know that it's artificially made. There's no way anyone would be able to distinguish it. They'd be like,
Even
"Oh,
the cadence of the speech is very similar.
it's
as
so fucked up." And Joe Rogan even posted on Instagram saying like, "This scares the shit out of me." Like, it's literally just saying whatever you. In this thing, it's talking about how he has a chimp hockey team.
Yeah,
like
now there's definitely things you can pick out for nitpicking's sake of like, words move very abruptly from word to word.
Yeah. But that's only if I told you it was artificial. If I didn't tell you
probably
anything,
you probably wouldn't on your own think, hey, wait a minute, something's not quite right. You know what I mean? Like it's close enough where you probably would just not notice.
yeah. And there's like certain sentences that are 100% perfect though. It's only a few here and there, and you're like, wait, well, that was kind of weird, but you might just chalk it up to like weird audio issues or something like that. But there's some sentences that just went perfectly. Like
autocorrelations.
So they had him say big ass words that he's never said on his podcast too.
Oh my god!
Like, did you know that the basilar membrane and autolurinological are not autocorrelations? So there's also that.
I've become a medical expert. Did you know that basilar membrane and otolaryngology are not autocorrelations?
Dude, he's never said those words on his podcast.
No, absolutely not.
Never. He doesn't even know how to say those words. And they fucking were able to get him, like, with the AI to say it. It's fucking scary, dude.
That's fucking hilarious.
So if you guys are afraid of Skynet, you should be. Because this shit is for real,
Joe Rogan
dude.
coming for you.
Joe Rogan bot is going to come after you, dude. So the question is, when will video and audio evidence be thrown out of court? Without diligent proof that this isn't doctored,
Oh, it'll be a long time. I mean, people still rely on eyewitness accounts for stuff.
Yeah.
Which is provable that eyewitness accounts for stuff absolutely are horrible and horribly inaccurate.
Yeah.
So, no, I mean, our system moves very slowly.
And from what I've read, these AI labs, specifically Samsung and the other one that we were talking about, and even the ones that do OpenAI and the other one, AlphaGo, the Alpha one, the ones for the video games, in the beginning, they were all open source. They were like, yeah, you guys can fuck with it, do cool things. Let's just do it for science. But since then, they've closed it down. It's no longer open source, and their reason is in the wrong hands this can be bad, and they feel like they're morally responsible to keep it close to their chest. Now, right. I take that with a little grain of salt because at the same time,
absolutely. The other part is we can patent this intellectual property and make money.
Yeah.
Is the other side of that.
But there also may be some truth to what they're saying on how like this shit is not in the wrong hands. It'll be bad.
I think there's definitely truth to that. The spreading of technology is getting faster and faster. I'll draw a sort of analogous line to gun control, being that in the future, it's going to be harder and harder to deal with any type of gun control when you look at 3D printers being able to make plastic guns that work, even if it's just like one shot or something. You know what I mean? Like, technology is moving to a space where it's like so collectively out there that in the future, individuals will be able to do a lot of crazy stuff that it'll make like subverting laws easy.
Yeah. There was that one guy that actually made a gun model through the 3D printer. Have you seen that documentary? It's on Netflix.
I haven't seen the documentary. I just knew about that's why I branched on that. I just know that the technology's infant stage as far as that goes.
The guy that invented the 3D printer, and it was all open source in the beginning, and then it all of a sudden became closed source. And his reasoning was because of the patent stuff. He's like, it's just patent stuff. Like in the beginning, he was talking about, I'm not going to ever close this down. Like it's always going to be open to everybody because that's what we believe in. That's our philosophy. And then as they got more popular and more people got involved, they're like, no, man, we can't have that, So, and he was one of the reasons why they said, because he's like making guns and shit,
Right.
But anyway, let's see how this goes. We're all going to die.
Hell yeah, brother.
So this is good news. Report says Altered Carbon showrunner is writing a Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic movie.
Oh, what?
Yep. So two big news in here. First of all, they're making a Knights of the Old Republic fucking movie, which PogChamp. And
How have I not heard of that 3 days ago? How have I not seen that posted?
I know.
anywhere?
I thought
What
you
the
would have
fuck?
seen this, dude. And it's also the Altered Carbon showrunner, which I fucking loved. Altered Carbon. I thought it was a really good thing on Netflix. It's a good show. It's a good cyberpunk show.
I watched like the first 2 episodes.
Oh, it didn't catch
But I
on.
never finished it.
Yeah, well,
I
maybe
thought,
I'm biased.
I thought about going back and watching it because everyone says it's good, but
Yeah, maybe I'm biased because I love cyberpunk and I feel like there isn't enough cyberpunk material out there. And it's completely, it's all about cyberpunk, the Altered Carbon. So,
yeah.
But I thought it was actually well done. It wasn't just like good for the sake of just saying it's good, you know?
Yeah.
So they're close to finishing the script of a potential Knights of the Old Republic trilogy. Holy shit.
Ooh, interesting. Man, what's with Star Wars and trilogies?
I know, right? It's got to be it. You can't just do 2. You can't do 4. It's got to be 3. And then another 3.
And then another.
A script doesn't guarantee that a Knights of the Old Republic movie will actually be made, let alone lead a trilogy, but with Star Wars pledging to move on from the Skywalker saga with Episode 9, the Old Republic is obviously fertile ground full of Jedi and Sith alike. Crazier things have happened. I mean, it's the best route to take, especially with how fans' expectations of Star Wars has gone down. I mean, it's a consensus between everybody. I think the majority of people still like those Star Wars movies, but we can all agree that it doesn't capture that same wow that the original Star Wars movies had, you know?
Yeah.
So, the best thing to do is to just explore all the other possibilities, you know? With all this shit.
They would do Kyle Katarn and different stuff like that.
Hell yeah. I'd be down with
But
that,
I don't
dude.
think he's canon.
Darth Revan.
I don't think he's canon under Disney.
I don't think so either. But they can. I mean, they got paychecks. They got checkbooks. So
Right? Yeah, make it so. Come on.
they got that golden checkbook.
I like it because I want them to start telling stories away from like the whole, original trilogy Skywalker shit.
Yep.
But I also want them to just get away from other people's already written content.
Yeah.
Like, okay, now we're going to retell a story that someone else has already written and told.
Yeah.
Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
Can we just get fresh stories written by good storytellers in the Star Wars universe with new characters set in whatever time period? I don't care.
Yeah.
But like, give us something newer. And that I don't just mean like a Knights of the Old Republic movie. I mean like something actually freshly written. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly. I agree with you. They should make original content and not just piggyback off other people's good stories. But I also like the idea of taking a good story and making a movie out of it.
Yes, definitely so. I just want to see them do more branching out into let people write, because the EU had like the extended universe as far as books go. They had a lot of dumb shit too. But they had a lot of good shit too.
Mm-hmm.
So like, find good writers that can write good, compelling stories and characters, and give them access to the Star Wars universe to write those stories.
Did you like that alien race that came out of nowhere that negated the Force? Have you ever read those books?
I can't remember what they were called. The ones that they're like the entire planet's born really Force sensitive, but like they can.
Well, they have something
Depends
about
on
them.
which one
I
you're
think they're ships or some. I forgot exactly, but they're like ships.
Different ones that I'm talking about. I may not know which ones you're talking about.
Well, all I know is that they're like a big bad that came out of nowhere. They're like a completely different alien race, and when they're around, the Force doesn't work.
Oh my
So the Sith and the light have to work together.
That sounds like whoever wrote that. I want to stab him.
I know this whole big bad that comes out of nowhere and just negates everything kind of sucks as an idea, but supposedly it's a good story from people that I talked to.
Maybe that sounds like horrible.
It sounds horrible to me.
Writing.
Yeah. All right, next piece of news. Let's move on. Skyrim Together is still alive and is being rebuilt. So.
Oh my god, this just needs to go away already.
It's not gonna go away, dude. It's gonna happen. The mod is still alive, but the code has been scrapped. The code base has been scrapped, but the mod is still alive. So a lot of the code base apparently was stolen data or borrowed.
Wasn't it like he was using a bunch of different people modders codes and stuff like that?
Yeah, he was using Skyrim SE's script extender. The people that did that,
While
which,
taking people's money.
yeah,
So yeah.
yeah, and then they claimed like, no, none of that code exists, and then he's like, this, here it is, dude. This is from your fucking shit. I can see my code right there. It literally says Skyrim SE.exe in the code. And then they're like, oh shit, yeah, you're right. That wasn't supposed to be there, so my bad. And then now I guess they're deciding that they're just going to start from the bottom up again. After they took everyone's money.
Interesting. I don't know. Just play ESO at this point.
Yeah, I mean, ESO is not Skyrim with your friends.
No, it's not. But
It's not.
I mean, it's the closest thing you're probably ever really going to get.
Yeah.
Until Elder Scrolls 6. Maybe. See, if Elder Scrolls 6 should have jump in co-op play.
100%. 100%. But I don't, as we have seen in the past, Bethesda is not very good at doing shit like that with Fallout 76. But maybe Fallout 76 will teach them things that they were shitty at, and they'll be better at it.
I don't know. Bethesda hasn't historically been able to learn from mistakes or bugs or anything.
I think that they just, their hands are tied because they're using the same code and the same engine, and it's like a lot of the,
absolutely.
You know, even if they wanted it to be better, that it can't be because they're using the same engine over and over again, you know? Yeah. So, who knows? We'll see. Good luck to Skyrim together. John Wick's creator is writing a Just Cause movie. I mean, might as well.
I mean, it's the perfect thing for him to pick up.
I mean, if anybody's going to write that kind of bullshit action, it should be the guy that did John Wick, right? Because...
Oh, absolutely. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
He's great at it.
Yeah. So, that's cool. I think it's going to suck so bad, though. Because the story... Have you played Just Cause?
No, I really want to get one because they look so much fun to play.
Oh my god, the writing, the story, and everything is so fucking bad that I just skip all that shit and I went to blowing shit up. I mean, that's what everybody wants to do, is just blow shit up. So
right, like that's the only reason I would buy one of those games, because like the physics and what you can do and stuff look so much fun to do.
Yeah, it's fun to like fly around in helicopters, jump out, shoot rocket launchers, then glide down, and then shoot people with guns. It's fun. But it gets boring after a while. All right, next piece of news.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting if he can apply a good story to it.
Yeah, I agree. The Dota auto chess is not here. Let's talk about. I'll look it up right now. Hold on. After this, so Riot and Tencent are working together on an official League of Legends mobile application. Official from Tencent.
Official.
This comes after literally Tencent stole the idea of League of Legends.
Yes.
Put it on mobile. It's called Heroes, Valor of Heroes or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Then they made more money than Riot ever dreamed of making.
Yeah, it was like, so Tencent approached Riot like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And was like, hey, let's partner. We'll bring League of Legends to the mobile Chinese market. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And Riot was like, nah, fuck you and your dumb Chinese mobile market.
Yeah, because you stole our idea from the beginning, so fuck you guys.
Well, no. This happened before that.
Oh, this is before Arena of Valor or whatever.
This is before this game. So then Tencent said, okay, well, it's a good thing we're Chinese and, you know, your IP laws basically mean nothing to us.
Yep.
So then they went and made their own fucking shit, and it made more money than Riot did in 2018 or something like that.
It made Tencent...
Like, it was like the most profitable game Period. In that year.
And it still is.
Yeah. So the wild amounts of money. And then Riot was like, oh, shit. Because like, it's funny because like Tencent originally came to them probably because they wanted to fly it under the League of Legends name, right?
Exactly.
Which would be even better. But then Tencent was like, okay, well, we'll just do it anyway and still make a shit ton of money. We were going to, you know, cut you in, but your loss.
Yeah, exactly. So Tencent is the winner in this no matter what. They won.
Especially because now they've got Riot to come back to the table and be like, okay.
And it doesn't mean that their other game...
So that we can get some money.
And now they're making two games that are competing with each other, but they own both games, so it doesn't matter.
Tencent has no problem with cannibalizing their audience.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious. So there goes that. But yeah, apparently Riot was saying that they declined their request because they wanted to make the best PC game and not focus on any of the mobile stuff. But yeah, it was obviously a big mistake.
Yeah, especially from like a monetary perspective, huge mistake.
On the flip side, there is.
Oh boy,
this...
he's googling. He's googling
Okay, so
on stream.
on the flip side, I don't know if you guys have heard of Dota Auto Chess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a mod.
Cox plays it all the fucking time.
Yeah, so apparently Dota Auto Chess is a mod for Dota 2 that is an unofficial separate mod made by this Chinese company called Drodo Studio, okay? So Drodo Studio made this mod. It became highly popular. It's kind of like a tactics-based Dota game. It's like chess, but tactics.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's hard to explain.
It's on a chessboard,
Mm-hmm.
but like the rules are not chess.
It's not chess rules, yeah.
It's not chess, and you use like the Dota heroes, whatever they're called in Dota. I don't
Yeah,
remember,
champions, whatever the fuck.
I guess those are the pieces or something.
Yeah.
And like you the idea is you move around and do stuff on the board against each other.
Yeah. So it became highly successful. A lot of people are still playing it to this day. A lot of Dota streamers started playing Dota Auto Chess instead of Dota 2. So like the top streamers. And so, you know, Valve came up to him and said like, "Hey, let's work together on making an official Dota Auto Chess. You know, we'll license it, we'll do everything, we'll make it a standalone game." And they were like, "You know what, man? No, we're making our own." So
Yeah.
we're making our own for mobile.
So now Valve is making their own.
So Valve said, "Okay, fine, we'll make our own on our own." And they said, "That's fine. We already got the success we wanted and the name we wanted. We're going to do mobile. You guys are going to do PC, so we're kind of not competing with each other, but, you know, we don't want to have anything to do with you pretty much." And then they came to a kind of like a compromise where they're like, Drodo's like, "We'll help you develop it to make it like decent, you know?" But that's pretty much it.
I don't know how I feel about this because, and I don't understand to this day and age why people still give Valve a free pass on fucking every shitty thing they do.
Yeah.
And Valve, all they do for the past several years is do shitty things. It's like all the hate towards Epic with their Epic Store and stuff like that. It's like they're trying to jump into the space to compete with Steam, with Valve having almost literal monopoly on this type of market. Like, can we recognize that Valve is a shitty company now after so many years? Can we?
Well, shitty as they're successful for sure, but they have shitty practices.
But what they do is shitty constantly.
Yeah.
Like Dota itself was because they stole somebody's mod
Mm-hmm.
and made Dota, right?
Yeah.
And so now they're just doing the same thing again. They can't do their own thing. They can't have their own ideas. They suck at everything they do these days. So now, oh look, someone else made a mod. Oh, now we're gonna steal it and make our own game of it. You get what I mean? It's like that's all they do these days.
Well, to be fair, they did come up to them and said, "Hey, why don't you work on it officially under our license?"
Right.
You know?
I mean, I'll give them passes here and there for some decent behavior, but it's just like it seems like everyone ignores that Valve is just as shitty a company as anything else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. I don't know. It's so much fanboyism around Valve.
So my question is, why are they telling us all this information that happened behind closed doors? Is there a reason why? Why are they being transparent about it? You know what I mean? It's kind of...
Yeah. Oh, I think it's just to be transparent, which I'll give them props for.
You don't think it's because they want people to know that they've tried and they're just using the popularity of Dota Auto Chess for people to... Because, okay, let's say you like...
I see what the transparency is just them attempting good PR.
That's what I mean, yeah. And what if, if I told you, yeah, you like Dota Auto Chess? Well, the people that made it aren't making the official one. Would you play the official one? You know what I mean?
I have no idea. Probably not, because look at what Valve made with Artifact.
Exactly.
I mean, why would I trust Valve to make Auto Chess?
Yeah.
Its own standalone game.
Which is probably going to be fucking littered with loot boxes and shit. But... So this is the official response from the Drodo team. "We appreciate the great encouragement, support, and help that Valve offered on Dota Auto Chess and Drodo's standalone game." So they helped them with the mobile game too, apparently. I don't know what they did. They're very vague on like, we just support each other. I don't know what the fuck that means. Like,
I don't know. And I mean, I'm sure
do
there's
you send them a thumbs up,
symbiotic relationship that's going on there.
or do they just send thumbs up emojis through text, and that's what they call support? Valve has been a great company who gave birth to the Steam platform, an open community like Workshop, enabling millions of players to display their talents. Blah, 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 blah. Dota will continue updating the Dota Auto Chess mod and attempt to design new models and adaptations. So the mod will still exist in tandem with the official Dota standalone game.
Right. Well, I mean, Valve can't stop them from just having the mod. You know what I mean? Unless they just get rid of modding on Dota altogether, right?
Yeah. I mean, could they stop them? They technically could. It would be bad
They
PR.
technically could. But I don't know what other kind of mods there are for Dota, or how any of the
it would
Steam
be a
Lab
major
stuff
conflict
works.
of interest, though, like having that mod exist
Right.
while you
but
have
they have
a
the
standalone.
power. Yeah, they have the power to shut it down. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I just don't. So I have no idea.
It's
what's gonna go on there.
very weird. It's very weird. I think that, to be honest with you, reading behind the lines, and this is all speculation, I think Valve wants to keep a good relationship with this company because they want to be in the Chinese market with whatever they can.
Right.
So if this company does well in China, they want to have a good relationship with them to possibly do something later on to get an in with them that isn't fucking Tencent,
Right.
Everybody's choice is Tencent or do it on your own.
Right. I don't mean this could also be, a case of Valve wanting to get in there, partner with them, because Valve sees an opportunity to make a standalone PC game of Dota Auto Chess, right?
Yeah.
But if they're going to do that, they would probably naturally want the mod to go away.
Yeah, that's why it's weird.
Which would be incentive for them to reach out to the people that made the mod and say, hey, how about you come and help us make a standalone game? Which would also mean they probably own part of it.
Mm-hmm.
They get paid, everything like that. But I would imagine that there's also some sort of clause that would require them to either get rid of the mod after the launch of the official game, or to stop support of it.
Which is weird because at the end of this thing, they say we're still going to work on Dota Auto Chess.
Because, well, I'm assuming that the, whatever Valve wanted probably didn't work
out. It says with Valve support, Dota will continue updating the DAC mod. So if Valve decides they don't want to support that anymore.
Right. So, I mean, we don't know what really happened or what Valve wanted, but I would imagine what they initially wanted, what didn't work out, would be something along the lines of getting rid of the mod or support for the mod after the official one launches.
Yeah. Okay. So there's that. Let's do 2 more and we're done. Rumor: BioWare blames haters for Anthem not meeting sales goals and might go free to play. So the second part of it,
damn haters and bullies online, how dare they?
They ruined our amazing game, dude.
Criticism.
Yeah. They've said that in the past where they talk so much shit about saying like, if the community continues acting this way, then we're just gonna not talk to them. Like, we don't want to talk to the community if they're gonna be toxic. And it's like, okay, I mean, who does that benefit?
Toxic. I'm sorry that you're receiving criticism for doing stupid, shitty things.
Yeah, but
I don't.
Does it benefit them to like alienate their audience, especially when their game's doing well?
I don't understand why
well?
I don't understand why they don't understand that that's worse. Like, doubling down on your already shitty practices doesn't make sense. It means that somebody in charge over there clearly doesn't understand that it's their shitty product and shitty practices that have caused this. You know what I mean? Like, they think they're so in the right that they're just going to keep doubling down on their shit.
Yeah, as you can see, damn, I didn't realize that the graphics were so bad. There is, of course, no way of verifying if this is true. This is why we call it a rumor from the outset. For a brief moment, let us assume that the statement is true and then examine why such an utterance is so detached from reality that the speaker might as well be telling a starving crowd, let them eat cake. I don't know what that means. So yeah, I mean, this is just continually talking about all the things that were wrong with Anthem. I think free to play is the only option for them because people are not playing the game, right? So the only thing if it's free to play, I'll play it for sure. Why not? And then
what? Oh no, I'm still not gonna play Anthem.
Even if it's free to play,
I just have noticed it because I've played the demo and seen everything it has to offer, and I'm just like, it's so shallow and shit.
Yeah,
Like,
we'll see.
I just have no desire to. I'll continue to play Dauntless, which is free to play on the Epic Store, by the way, guys.
Gross.
It's a lot of fun. I played it in alpha and beta, and it's even better now, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. Dauntless. It's free to play, by the way. Okay.
Gross. He's not sleeping. Okay. All right, last piece of news. What if someone made Tinder, but for like D&D? Well, I kind of did. Meet Crawler. So this guy made an app called Crawler, Crawlr. And the way that it works is you find people in your immediate area that are playing D&D, and you know, meet up
And are
with them.
down to D. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and my number one problem with this is people are forgetting that the general player base for D&D have basic issues that would cause you to, that would be, I don't know how to say it, like unideal, unacceptable. They don't use deodorant. They don't use deodorant, okay? They're gross people, and you're inviting these gross people from an app on your phone to come and hang out with you. And as much as I wish in an ideal world where it would be like, oh yeah, there's a cool guy over here that I want to be friends with to play D&D with, in my experience, I've actually tried it. I met people on Reddit to play D&D with, and 100% of the time that I've done it, and every single one of them turned out to be a bad person.
You're like, oh shit, I shouldn't have done this.
No, I'm sorry. Tim was cool. One guy was cool. 1 out of 15 people was a normal guy. Normal person. Everybody else had something going on with them.
I don't know if I would want to meet and play with anyone that is using this app. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'd play D&D with friends that I already have established relationships with, because I know that playing D&D with them would be fun.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, just playing D&D with anybody that you meet isn't necessarily fun, in my opinion.
No, and the problem is you want to play, but you don't have anyone to play with, so that's why this app exists and stuff like this. But I mean, it's not easy, man. That's all it is. No. It's just not easy.
It'll be interesting. It'll be like, when you were in college and in like some of the public areas with like seeing and stuff, there were always the weird kids that all collected over there. Yeah. And we're doing weird anime shit or D&D or magic shit. Like, those are the people that use the app because they're just play with fucking anybody.
Yep. Yep. So, yeah, that's it. Yeah. I mean, it sounds interesting. I haven't actually looked at the app, but from my experience, it's probably not going to do well. I mean, it'll probably do well in some places, but I don't know.
Yeah. I think it'll probably be useful for some people. It's going to be more useful in highly populated areas like where you live or something.
Yeah.
But like, if I try to use it in fucking Middle Tennessee or something, I'm sure it would be really shitty.
Yeah. They're like, Dad, are you on this? Oh, whoops. All right. Well, that's it, guys. That's it for the news. We had a lot. We did an hour, 40 minutes pretty much. Almost 2 hours. So that's what we do.
Make up for last week.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for listening and supporting. Remember to check us out on YouTube if you want to see the clips that we're showing and, see our beautiful faces too. Anything new with you, Zara? Anything that you're promoting?
No, not at this time.
Play Dauntless, I guess, with Zara.
Play Dauntless. It's free to play. It is fun, and it's they've improved a lot since we played it the first time around.
I'm shaking my head.
And it's free to play. It's fun to play with your friends. You know what I'm saying? Just download it.
Just download it. Damn it. Download it into your brain. All right, guys.
It's free.
We'll see you next week. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful week. We love you. Bye.
Czar Salesman.
We pretend people care about our opinions. We pretend people care about our opinions.
There's just a couple of good guys, virtue signaling their life away.
It smells like wet dog.
good guys, virtue signaling their life away. So stay woke, stay fresh,